Okay. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me clearly. And let me share my slides first. Okay, it's all clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so good afternoon again, and thank you for the opportunity. I'm sorry, I'm still hearing the translation, so I need to. Okay, so again, my name is Muhammed Abu Zahra, and I'm from the Global CCS Institute. I'm the head of the Middle East and North Africa region, and I'll give you some flavor on the status of CCS globally. And before I do that, just a couple of slides introducing the Global CCS Institute for those who are not familiar with our work. So the Global CCS Institute, we see ourselves as an international climate change think tank. It's headquartered in Melbourne, and now we have offices across the globe in 8 different cities. We are a non-for-profit organization, a member-led organization, and our mission and vision all goes around the deployment of CCS globally. So we try to accelerate or help in the acceleration of deployment of CCS, and also to make CCS as it is as an integral part of low emission future. So we have these 8 offices. Recently, we established the office in the Middle East, and I'm heading that in Abu Dhabi. And we have been in contact with the teams in Kazakhstan to explore options for collaboration as well, and to include Kazakhstan in our activities. And being in this conference is the first step to do that. So in terms of membership, we currently have over 125 members distributed across the world. And that goes from governments to national governments, oil and gas sector, technology providers, power generation, industries, research and development. So we form kind of like umbrella where all these members, they come forward, they get benefit from our services, but also it's for them to talk and to collaborate, and we help these members get connected and work closely together. On CCS, when we talk about CCS, we have to understand the importance of CCS and the driving behind that. And achieving deep decarbonization in the industry, CCS will play a major role in that. Enabling the production of low carbon hydrogen at a large scale, providing low carbon dispatchable power, delivering negative emissions when we talk about direct air capture or PICS or other technologies. And we have seen an increasing momentum over the last couple of years where new facilities has been announced in different stages. The capacity promised for carbon capture, utilization, and storage has increased by 32%. And now we talk around 135 plus facilities globally. And when we talk about these facilities, we talk about large scale integrated CCUS projects. So in this figure, we can see after 2017-18, a major increase in the interest of CCS, but 2021 has been seen a jump in the new project announced. So we have over 71 projects has been announced last year, and we hope to see these coming into the construction and operation phase very soon as planned. So what are the updates globally? As I said, we got like over 71 new facilities added, mostly in North America and Europe. We have seen new commercial facilities in development or planned phase in new countries, in Belgium, Denmark, Hungary, Indonesia, Malaysia, Sweden, Italy. A first application in LNG, and that's a large-scale project in Qatar in the Middle East. First commercial direct air capture in Iceland, and first commercial cement-related facility being under construction as we speak. Now, what are the drivers for this momentum that we have seen in 2020, and that would become driver for CCS to continue with this momentum? Strengthening policy support for CCS. There have been more and more net zero commitment from different countries and companies, and CCS being included as part of the solutions. Right of CCS networks, awareness. Projects related to blue hydrogen would be a major driving force as a business case. Technology-based carbon removal has been also developed, and some emergence of strategic business partners and integration of different concepts like the hubs and integrated large-scale projects. So when we talk about accelerators, incentives are important. Investment in the climate change important, getting some profits, and I agree with previous speakers where we talk we need to have a successful business case in addition to regulations and policy related to the environment to support the deployment and moving forward with the CCS plans. So voluntarily carbon market has been instrumental. Blue hydrogen and the increasing interest of that has been also an seen accelerator. However, we still have some uncertainties and breaks, and some of these like permitting, the cost uncertainties, and people have been asking about the cost all the time. That needs to be fixed, and that needs to be evaluated based on geological and geographical locations and sites, to have some clarity on the investment focus, to be more open-minded and the acceptance for CCS, and work with anti-fossil, anti-pipeline activists as they act sometimes against the deployment of CCS. So looking at these accelerators and brakes, I think we take these into the full development of CCUS technology or projects as a full supply chain. And we have seen increasing operational, as I said, project. This is a global map, and the dots shows where current CCS projects are. We can see clearly we have major in Europe and North America. In our region, we started seeing more and more projects coming on board. And all of these could help in establishing the concept of CCS hubs in different regions and countries globally. As a summary, as I said, North America is leading in terms of number of projects. But I want to stress that we have started seeing newcomers into the CCS domain. In the Gulf Cooperation Council here in the Middle East, we have 3 projects currently in operation phase and a couple of projects in development phase. The rest of the world, countries would never worked before on CCS, they started announcing new projects as well. This map or chart shows us the projects from as early as 1972 until the planned projects up to 2030. The bigger the dot, the larger the scale. And on the left, you can see the different sectors. I will highlight a couple of examples. For example, we have a project in Abu Dhabi, and that's the first CCS project linked to the steel industry. We have other projects, the initial projects from early 1990, they were more linked to natural gas processing, but over the years, we started seeing more projects linked to low concentration CO2 from the power sector and other industrial sector. And that gives an indication that we start seeing a full portfolio of CCS projects coming on board. In the Gulf countries, and I'm stressing that here because of the similarities with expected portfolio in Kazakhstan, and that could be a learning approach. So currently there are 3 facilities operational, one in Qatar, and that's a liquefied natural gas. Then we have the one in the UAE from steel industry, another one in Saudi Arabia from the natural gas sweetening. More and more countries are adding CCS into their indices. Power generation and blue hydrogen has been major driver in the region, and I think also globally. Enhance oil recovery is still very essential, and most of these projects are linked to enhance oil recovery with the oil and gas field. Now we see more and more increase in interest in the region, and we think hosting COP27 in Egypt this year and COP28 in the United Arab Emirates next year will also help in driving all clean energy technologies, including CCS. And we started seeing more and more of the interest coming forward from different stakeholders. So we talk about the progress, but we still need to increase the capacity. If we want to achieve the targets promised globally, we need to increase the capacity by 100-fold by 2050. So major investments is needed for capital investment, for building projects, and we need a stronger policy for and incentives for rapid CCS investment, which is currently overdue. And I think all governments and international cooperation should push for stronger policy deployments. So a stronger policy is needed to define the role of CCS. We need to create long-term high value on the storage of CCS, support the identification of geological storage site and resources, make sure to build the trust into this geological storage, build technologies for around the laws and regulations. Specific laws and regulations will be needed for the long-term storage, long-term monitoring for the CO2. Ensure emissions abatement policies are inclusive for all options, including CCS, and that will help in moving forward with the CCS technology. Identify opportunities for CCS networks and facilities, and provide some capital grants, low-cost finance, and some guarantees to reduce the cost for the capital investment for CCS. So all of these policies are needed, and international collaboration would be required to deploy these policies and develop them further. I want to conclude with an important slide, how we see the future of CCS. We look at it as a full ecosystem, a complete supply chain, where we need the emitters, the technology providers, the owners of the storage site, and other sectors to talk to each other. So if we take it from the source to the transportation to the storage, and then around that, we have finances needed, carbon accountant is needed, geoscientists, engineers, lobbyists, lawyers, permits, risk management, insurance companies. All of these need to come forward, and we need to start building what we call a supply chain for a CCUS industry in the different regions, but also globally, to move this forward with larger scale projects across border and across the globe. So with that, I conclude my presentation and be happy to answer any questions you could have. Thank you.